Hello, here's a couple of channel updates for you. All good, I hope. You may have noticed that the logo has changed slightly, particularly in the video version. There are 3 words underneath the logo, and in fact if it's a podcast video then the 3 words are there as well as the word podcast to differentiate between those 2 types of videos. The 3 words are time invites development. Why are they there? Well, you have probably noticed me using the phrase you leading you and brave yourself or braver leaders. These are important to bear in mind because I do talk about self-leadership a lot. I also talk about positional leadership, and I think that we can all be leaders irrespective of the org chart. Many of the lessons and the strategies and the insights that I take from other people and sometimes share with you, or perhaps I provide from my experience, are useful for personal leadership as well as positional leadership. So that's you leading you. And brave yourself or braver leaders, that is about, I suppose, a sort of focal point in space and time, where ultimately we have all this information, we know what is the right thing to do, but we need to do it. And that requires a process of courageous thinking and then brave action or behaviours. And that means very often that we're exposed in that moment. And so we've got to be brave to do that. But it is important. In fact, it's crucial when it is the right thing. And have we always done that? Well, I certainly haven't. But when I have done it, I felt an awful lot better. Doesn't mean to say there isn't a storm around to begin with, but ultimately things have got a funny way of working themselves out. So that's still in the mix. I'll still talk about that. I'm still talking about self-leadership and ultimately positional leadership and pointing out certain things that leaders in the public eye do or don't do. And I'm also alluding to the fact that we have to take this information and use it to step up to the plate and do that right thing in the moment, which means very often for a lot of us, including me, being braver or being brave in that moment. But this thing about time invites development, well, that's meant to be an umbrella term. Because if you think about it, we all have limited time, whether we want to think about that or not. And we can approach that existential angst in 2 different ways. We can hide, we can pull the covers over our heads and hope it'll all go away, or we can go out and say, what am I going to do here? What am I going to experience in this existence? And within that decision, we could decide to be hedonistic. We could decide to do not nice things. I don't think that's most people. I think most of us, despite all our flaws, want to make a difference. And so time invites us to develop, to get better, to be the best versions of ourselves, which is what ultimately all this stuff is about. And it is very much a work in progress for me. And I'm so delighted that you've decided to come along for the journey, to use that word. And I know it's used a lot, but I think it absolutely is that. So that's what the change is about. It's all about evolving as we go along and adapting to what has been happening with the channels and the content, and also subscribers, which is fantastic. If you've subscribed, thank you so very much. It's genuinely appreciated. If you haven't subscribed, please have a think about it.